of the Business Committee. So far as he is concerned, and I listened to him carefully, following the reconstitution of the front bench of this side of the House and the coming into office of a new leader of government business, once you were not captured in the earlier report on committees, which was laid and adopted in this House, it appears to me that his contention is that even that person is, strictly speaking, not a member of the Business Committee and can therefore not present the report. But Mr. Speaker, I want you to rule. Take into consideration Order 2161. Because 2161 says the Business Committee comprises the leader of government business as chairperson, the leader of the party or parties in Parliament which do not form the government as the ranking chairperson, the chief whips, and not more than 11 other members. This is a committee in which the officials are identified by their offices and not as individuals. By their offices and not as individuals. So to read this standing order to be amendable by the report of a committee adopted by this House appears to me to be what he is seeking to do. Can we say today that Honorable Atuforsen remains the chairperson of the Business Committee in the face of Order 2161? Can we say that Honorable Abuja remains a member of the Business Committee in the face of Order 216? Because it is one of the few committees where membership is statutory and identified by office. So whoever occupies that office automatically becomes the person that should be on the committee. And I believe that those who framed this did not intend that any time that there is a change in that office holder, that we come and then hold a meeting, that we appoint new members representing those offices and then present their report and debate their report and then adopt it and etc. I believe that anybody who steps into those offices automatically become the members of that committee and can carry the functions of that office. So, Mr. Speaker, I invite you to consider that and give guidance. This is the first time it is happening, I believe, and this is a novel situation, and you are the custodian of the rules and the interpreter of the rules and the person who ensures that it is enforced. So, Mr. Speaker, I invite you to give us some guidance on this matter.
Yes, Honourable Member for Asawase.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully disagree with the majority leader. Well, Mr. Speaker, when you were doing the report, you had their names before designation. And supposing it was like the Intelligence Committee, where each member had to swear, are you saying by change of name as majority leader of government business and changes, you step in and you don't have to swear, you have to swear an oath? So, Mr. Speaker, yes, I agree that we are masters of our own rules, and for convenience, we can stand down most of the orders and just take the amendment at a shot. But to assume that you could just walk in and carry on, Mr. Speaker, even though it's not explicitly stated in our rules, we'll be setting a bad precedent, in my view. Because, like I said, when the report was being taken, it was Honorable Atuforsen, Majority Leader. Honorable Kwame Govins Agboja, Majority Chief Whip. So now, if Honorable Mama Yerga becomes the Majority Leader, it is a simple process that we need to go back and change. Because if there was supposed to be a swearing in, he would have to take the oath. He would not just walk into it. Yes, it's not explicit, but I think that looking at our standard and our practice, this would be the neatest way to do it, rather than to assume that you just walk in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, my understanding of the practice of this House is that when you make a determination on the matter, a member who is aggrieved may have to come back to you formally. As far as I'm concerned, the application by my colleague, Honorable Anodompre, was upheld by you. But be that as it may, since the leader of government business wants to introduce us to some jurisprudence, which in my view is good for our purpose, because there is a chamber of debate, save that his continuous exercise of this right will lead to the delay of government business. And we'll support him if he wants to delay government business. I cautioned him yesterday, because there are great lawyers and debaters here who will join him in this exercise, which will take the whole day. So when government business delays, you shouldn't blame the minority, because around this time, you should have finished your thing and then move on. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Mubarak Mutaka took the wind out of my sail when in his second point, he talked about suspension of our rules. The rules recognize situations where we would have such lacuna, and therefore provided for in Order 3. Order 3, suspension of standing orders. With your leave, Mr. Speaker, I quote, 1, subject to the provisions of the Constitution, a motion for the suspension of an order or part of an order may be moved without notice with the leave of the House. 2, where the order or part of the order is to be suspended, reasons must be stated prior to the suspension of the mover of the motion. And 3, the Speaker shall suspend the order pursuant to the leave of the House. So reading 3, 1, 2, and 3 together, my humble view, and I respectfully submit in all modesty, that the respected majority leader should have come under this to move the House to suspend the rules. We've done this before in the ministerial nominations that we received. I stood here and moved on your behalf that we've received the first one. We are aware that Mr. Speaker may be out of the jurisdiction. We are aware that Parliament will be going on orientation and all. Therefore, should we receive any other communication from the President, we should waive the requirement that Mr. Speaker would have to read and refer. And we came under Order 3 to mean that all things that will be done must be presumed to be regular. Therefore, we would proceed to vet. This we did. So the right way to go was to pray with our leave for this rule to be suspended. But put that aside. Mr. Speaker, the respected majority leader has introduced a new argument, which with all due respect, I disagree with him. It can never be wrong, but I disagree with him. He says that there is a certain definition, he places some interpretation on Order 216 to say that Order 216, and at the risk of being repetitive, I shall read it one more time. The business committee comprises the leader of government business as chairperson, the leader of the party or parties in parliament who do not form the government as the ranking member, the chief whips, and not more than 11 other members. To him, to the extent that he had assumed the black chair, the rule of automaticity triggers. Well, I would agree with you that when procedure and prudence clash, prudence must supersede. But it doesn't operate in this context, with the greatest respect. Because here we've laid down a procedure, a known one, and that is why you can find solace in order 3. So therefore your argument that these provisions are there, so there is no requirement for a motion to be moved. And that is why Mr. Speaker rightly supported the respected minority chief whip, that we enacted a process. Is the reason why the letter from your General Secretary did not just get to Mr. Speaker's office, but a certain procedure was followed. Mr. Speaker read it, and if you pay attention to the language of Mr. Speaker, when he finished, he now invited the leaders to initiate the process, whereupon your predecessor came to the dispatch box, read his final message to the House, and ushered you in, and we congratulated you. Sir, if this your jurisprudence persists, government business will suffer. Do the needful. Because today is Friday. When you were on this side, on a Friday like this, you will be doing this, that you want to go to the mosque. I don't know what has changed. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, yesterday I told the majority leader that the day that we heard, the rumor brought it up that he was going to assume the black chair on his side. One of my researchers told me that she's followed this legislator, and his passion for the law is so great that I should get my team to prepare for some legal exercise. It is good, but not when your back, look, all these empty seats. Not when you have all these empty seats. Just look behind you. So if you know, Mr. Speaker, you remember when I was the leader of government business, on occasions where I tried to, push a certain agenda, he would tell me that look behind you. Mr. Speaker, see how posterity, just look behind you. I'm not doing government business. I don't have government business. I am opposition leader. My business is at large. Look behind you. You want to pass Honorable Muntaka today. Because Honorable Muntaka, let your majority leader know that we agreed to vet you today because of certain exigencies. And he is delaying this house. And your members will not keep quiet. They still think they are in opposition. He should look behind him, how empty the seats are, and direct the whip, the majority chief whip, Honorable Defiamepo, to get out of the seat. His place is not where he is. This is not the time to be seated in your seat comfortably. Where is Richard Achampo? No, I won't talk about Doyo. They are new. They're 2 young men. They are supposed to start whipping the members in. Because even if we have to take the bill, the report, you don't have the numbers. And we are going to insist on it. So end it here, seek the leave, present the business committee report. Let's have some discussion on it. Mr. Speaker, would allow you to adopt it and make sure this chamber is filled with your members. Then we can do government business. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I raise the issue in all sincerity, just a matter of jurisprudential interest, not because I really want to delay anything, but I noticed that we haven't really been confronted with a situation like this before. And I think that at a more convenient time, we should revisit this. Going under Order 3 to seek your leave and the leave of the House to bypass any of the orders and do business in this House is not a difficult thing to do. But this is a matter that Speaker should think about, and at a convenient date give us some indications, because your rulings also constitute part of the rules and the orders of this House, and they guide the implementation of those orders. Mr. Speaker, having said that, I will seek your leave under Order 3 for us to proceed to have my good self present the business statement for the consideration of the House and adoption to guide business next week.
Yes, honorable members, just for your guidance, the Speaker is the chairman of the Standing Orders Committee, and he is also the chairman of the Select Committee of Selection. There is good reason for that, because he is given the power to interpret and enforce the rules. Earlier on, I drew your attention to the various types of permutations that we could have as governance in this country. This Order 216 refers to leader of government business. The leader of government business does not necessarily mean the majority leader. And I'm sure you can recollect why. Now, we use leader of government business. But that decision is actually not taken by Parliament. That decision is taken by the government. The government decides who should lead government business in Parliament. So you can have a majority leader and another person, different person being leader of government business. So you are not referring to the individual. You are referring to the post, the position. There's good reason why in the ordinary committees, you are not called upon to swear an oath when you constitute the committee. But I've realized in the same standing orders, there are some committees that are called upon to swear an oath because of the nature of business, the mandate of the committees. In the case of the business committee, you are not called upon to swear an oath. This Order 216 is referring to the position. So whoever occupies that position becomes the chairperson. It's ex officio. Becomes the chairperson of the committee. And so by virtue of the fact that Honorable Mahama Ayarga is now the occupant of that position. Even though I have not been given evidence from the government, I will take it that because the government has not objected to his being so, he is the leader of government business. And so he chairs the committee. Now, the other issue is if the person is not present at the meeting of the committee, can the person present the report of the committee? And my earlier ruling showed that yes, the person could present the report because it could be done by the authority or through the authority of the chairperson. And so I was drawing attention to the fact that because of the failure of the deputy majority leader to seek my leave and to inform us that he's been authorized or mandated by the chairperson of the committee to do so for and on his behalf, he is not properly clothed to present the report. And that is why I call on any member of the committee present to do so. There should be sufficient guide to the House. We don't need to amend any report. We just need to go by this. And I think we should take it as sufficient guidance. If in the course of the application of the rules there's any other problem, we'll definitely handle it when we get there. In the meantime, I will permit the leader of the government business to present the report, and then we can go through it together.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the business statement for the third week. And
please, since you people have taken all my time, they've been the delegation waiting for over 30 minutes. But since you people are interested in jurisprudence, it's good. It's good for the edification, particularly of a new parliament. That's why I permitted it. But I'll hand over to the second deputy speaker to take the chair. Second deputy speaker will take the chair accordingly.
Yes, Honorable Leader of the House, and I assume you are the Leader of Government Business. So let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This is the report of the Business Committee on the business statement for the third week ending Friday, 31st January 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee met and it was agreed that next week there may be formal communications by the Right Honourable Speaker that ministers of state may be permitted to make statements on government policy pursuant to our various orders, that honourable members may make statements pursuant to Order 93, that we also will urge the Committee of Selection to expedite the process of the composition of the various committees so that business can commence with dispatch in the various committees. Papers may be laid during the week in accordance with Order 97. Mr. Speaker, the motions may be debated and their consequential resolutions taken during the week. And we propose to have a joint caucus meeting on Tuesday, 28 January 2025, to discuss pertinent issues of concern to honorable members. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67 of the Standing Orders, the committee submits this report to this House for approval, adoption and approval.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the business statement for the ensuing week has been read to us by the Leader of Government Business. It is now before the House for consideration. If there's anything any member would like to raise with respect to the business statement, the floor is open now. Yes, Leader of Minority.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business has rightly presented to us the business for the ensuing week. We are grateful to him for honoring that duty. However, Mr. Speaker, you may recall that his predecessor, Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen, assured the House last week that the issue of violence related to the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections will be taken up. This side of the House had raised a serious protest on the way and manner the Electoral Commission was being pounded by the NDC Greater Accra Regional Party. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the NDC Regional Party, led by its regional organizer, led some party members to attack the EC Coalition Center. And the EC issued a public statement to condemn the act and pleaded with the police to intervene to protect them. Mr. Speaker, this was the basis of the protest we raised. Mr. Speaker, when business statements are read, it is the responsibility of any member of this House to raise a matter of national interest for the Leader of Government Business to ferry same to government for address. It was on that basis that Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen assured the House, Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen assured the House that he will take steps to address the matter. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the EC has not received the necessary protection from the Elections Security Task Force to enable it conclude the collation and final declaration of Ablekuma North parliamentary elections. Mr. Speaker, the Electoral Commission complained of threat to the lives of its staff. The Electoral Commission complained of destruction of its properties. I would want my respected colleague who has just come to take steps in ensuring that Dr. Dampari, the IGP, who is the head of the Election Security Task Force, is able to provide sufficient security to enable the EC undertake its constitutional mandate. Mr. Speaker, we raise this as a serious democratic matter because it is a blot on our otherwise peaceful democracy. This is supposed to be a 276-member chamber. We are 275. The people of Ablekuma need a representation, and
government must take steps in ensuring that the Electoral Commission declares. Thank you.
Do something. No business. Take your hands off. No, Ablekuma needs a voice. They must be represented. You are representing your people.
members.
Where is Abdulkuman?
What is this? Honourable members, the business statement as presented to us is hereby adopted. Yes, leader. Any directive? We have adopted the business statement.
Of the following: Mr. Ali Adolf as the Minister Designate for the Northern Region, Mr. John Kwejo Japon for the Oti regions, James Gunu for the Volta region, and Rita Akosia Awate for the Eastern region. Mr. Speaker.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker. I believed when the procedure is set down, we need to follow the procedure. I have moved the motion. I present the committee's report before they come in to second and then support the adoption of the report. So, Mr. Speaker, may I be permitted to present the report?
Go ahead. I thought we've done that.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, with the permission to move the motion jointly, I will then move to present the report also jointly. The 5th and the 6th reports jointly. Mr. Speaker, the 5th report is on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as ministers. The following people: Mr. Ali Adolf John as Minister for Northern Region, Mr. John Kojo Japon as Minister for Oti Region, Honorable James Gunu as Minister for Volta Region, Ms. Rita Akosua Awate as Minister for Eastern Region. Mr. Speaker, the 6th report is on Honorable Mubarak Muntaka as Minister Designate for Interior. Mr. Speaker, following the referral to the Appointment Committee, the committee met and considered the nomination of those above mentioned. Mr. Speaker, at the committee meeting regarding Mr. Ali Adolf John, the following questions were posed and answers were provided. Mr. Speaker, there was question on addressing the issue of KIA headquarters and rural urban migration. There was also questions on initiatives to improve the economy and alleviate poverty among the youth of the northern region. Mr. Speaker, there was a question on enhancing irrigation for farms in the northern region, addressing post-harvest losses, addressing issues relating to witchcraft camp in the northern region. Questions were posed to him on promoting peace and harmony among the tribes in the northern region, how he's going to address the social amenity challenges in the northern region. And Mr. Speaker, many more questions were posed to him. Mr. Speaker, the next person to appear before the committee was Mr. John Kojo Japon. Mr. Speaker, questions regarding the role of regional minister, youth empowerment through agro-business, uplifting agriculture in the region, addressing conflict in Nkwanta town, improving connectivity in the Oti region, managing the cultural diversity in the region, among others, were posed to him. Mr. Speaker, Honorable James Gunu for Volta region was asked the following questions: alleged politically motivated attack on honorable members of parliament, ensuring safety and security in the region, protecting the region's coastal belts and addressing tidal waves, promoting tourism in the region, boosting internally generated funds, IGF, in the district assemblies, addressing complaints on fund management between DCEs and MPs, among others, were asked. Mr. Speaker, the questions posed to Ms. Rita Akosua Awate were as follows: balancing PhD studies with ministerial responsibilities, collaborations with members of parliament and stakeholders, enhancing capital for MMDAs, addressing chieftaincy disputes in the Eastern region, protecting river bodies in the Eastern region regarding Galamsey, regulating sand winning activities in the Eastern region, promoting tourism in the Eastern region, reducing crime rates in the Eastern region, among others, were posed. Mr. Speaker, I would urge the Hansard Department to capture the entire report, particularly the answers provided as having been read by me. Mr. Speaker, I will then move to the 6th report, which is on Honorable Mubarak Muntaka. Mr. Speaker, questions were posed regarding review of security services recruitment by the prior administration, the quota system of recruitment on regional basis, enhancing professionalism in security agencies, addressing promotion processes and posting in the security agencies, measures to address small arms proliferation in the country, addressing perception of transfer as punishment, ensuring non-partisanship within the security services, collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Rural Affairs, leadership in the agencies under the Ministry of Interior, brutality of citizens in police custody, welfare issue of security agencies, stakeholder engagement to repose trust in the security agencies in Ghana, among others, were posed. Mr. Speaker, I will equally urge the Hansard Department to also capture the 6th report as having been read by me. Mr. Speaker, I will then proceed to put the conclusion of the 2 reports together and to inform the House that the committee proposed for consideration of this House by consensus that this House adopt the committee's report and approve the undermentioned minister designates as ministers for the respective ministries. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Yes, let's now invite Honorable Patrick Boama to second the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to second the 5th and 6th reports of the Appointments Committee. Mr. Speaker, since they are consensus reports, I'll make some few comments on our colleague for Asawase, who is the Minister Designate for the Interior Ministry. Mr. Speaker, we all know the role of the Minister of Interior as being the chief custodian of our internal security. Underneath, you have a lot of security agencies that he controls, including the Narcotics Control Commission. Mr. Speaker, he answered questions satisfactorily on narcotics and the air lidar he's supposed to bring to the House for approval for the implementation of the narcotics or the medicinal cannabis implementation under the Narcotics Control Act. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, our colleague also distinguished himself when asked questions about security around Boko, the proliferation of small arms, promotions into the security services, and some other related activities on NADMO. We believe as a House that we've worked with Honorable Muntaka, the member for Asawase. We know of his competences. We know of his passion for the job as a member of Parliament, both within and without. And we have no doubt as a House. And on our side, we thank the President for nominating him to serve in his cabinet, and we wish him the very best. On the 5th report, Mr. Speaker, I was just watching TV at the cafeteria, and I saw the Minister Designate for the Volta region with the President Aho, and here we are debating a consensus report on him. I don't know in which capacity is there. Maybe he knows that he's got the numbers on his side to approve of him. I also saw Honorable Kodo, the former Prime Minister for the Western Togoland, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, that's just by the way. The Speaker, they answered questions that straddles both regions, or all the 4 regions. Challenges that members of Parliament face with regional ministers, or regional ministers do face, are the fact that they don't have even budgetary allocations. They always rely on allocations made to them from the Office of the President. Challenges with their MMDCs who feel independent in the performance of their duties. And the challenges members of Parliament do have with MMDCs who are under his watch and control. They also answered questions on regional security, chieftaincy issues, land disputes, and what have you. And also their determination to see through the cultivation of local raw materials to support local industries. We urge the regional ministers to walk the talk and ensure that they perform in accordance with the functions that they've been bestowed upon by various legislations and the Constitution of this country. Mr. Speaker, not to belabor the point, I wish all the regional minister nominees the very best and success in their respective regions. I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the 2 motions have been moved and they have been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. Because today is Friday, we will restrict ourselves to 2 contributors from each side. 2, then we come to leadership. And even with 2, we have to work around 5 minutes. Once you get the opportunity, please, your contribution should be around 5 minutes. So 2 from each side. The majority side have already given their list to me, but I think from minority side, I'll call from, yes, let him start from you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise to speak on the cease report of the Appointments Committee on His Excellency's, the President's nomination for appointment as Minister of Interior. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Muntaka has been a darling and an asset in this House and also for his constituents in Ashanti region as a whole. Honorable Muntaka is my neighbor, and then he borders the Kwabri East. And you have seen from his records in this House that he has excelled himself, even in Ashanti region, amongst where we see that he is in a den of lions, where he is in the midst of a lot of opposition MPs. But through it all, Honorable Muntaka has excelled in everything that he does and has been a beacon of light and hope for himself, for opposition, and for his compatriots as well. A particular mention where I would like the Honorable Minister to focus is on the security services. I think a lot has been said on the new recruits that went through the previous government, and a lot of people are sitting on tenterhooks as to their fate, even as now they are in training. And even as we know that government is a continuing business, I would like the Honorable Minister, when in office, to assure these people that they are all Ghanaians and they all deserve to be employed into the forces as well. On the subject of prison reforms, a lot of people, when they go back, when they return from prison, turn back more hardened than they were before they went into prison. And this happens when, the rehabilitation process in the prisons is not adequately done. And you see that 80% of people, return from prison and then they go back to prison. And I would like to implore and plead with the Honorable Minister that when he is in government, when he's confirmed, he should ensure that the rehabilitation process that goes in prisons are well done and well thought through before it goes. I would like to say and congratulate the Honorable Minister again for his nomination, and I know fairly well that this House will endorse him and confirm him as the next Minister of Interior. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member for Kwabre East. So let me invite Honorable Ladi Ayi Ayamba. Honorable, you speak around 5 minutes.
Pardon me, Mr. Speaker.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will try as much as I can. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank His Excellency the President for the nominations that he has made to our regions and to the Ministry of Interior. I congratulate those ministers who have been nominated, and I want to just delve a bit into that of Northern Region because of the issues there. I listened to him carefully, and the issue of Kayaye, which has been always something that I have cherished to talk and listen to, came up. His response was very good, was excellent. And I just want to urge him that if he is listening to me, he should stand by it that he is going to ensure that we have jobs in our various regions to enable the youth, especially the women, the girl child, to stay back in the Northern Region, whichever part they come from, and work rather than come to Accra. And that we do not in any way wish that they come down to Accra thinking that because there are a few hostels that were built, they should leave home and then come here and carry goods. It's better they work at home. So you should stick to it. The issue of witchcrafts, I have been to most of those camps when I was chairperson for gender. Mr. Speaker, it is not the best at all for the old women. People who simply cannot do anything for themselves. He should try as much as he can to work with the chiefs and elders and traditional rulers, others who are there, the queen mothers, to support them, because they find it difficult to go back to where they were brought from, to those camps. Mr. Speaker, the issue of chieftaincy problems, he said he would dialogue with them and he would talk and have some discussions, collaborate with them, the security services and what have you. It is becoming an eyesore, and it's really pathetic. Some of us, when we sit and we listen to these things, it's quite worrying. This isn't how it was. Let us understand one another so that we can live together. Then we have a lady that is for Eastern Region. I congratulate her directly because she is one of us, the women, and I just want to say that she should work and work hard. She shouldn't relent on her effort. She should study and ensure that she is working as expected and shouldn't disappoint His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the policies that are being put in place. She should work. She shouldn't let it be like, after all, we've given to a woman. That is what pains me. I'm hurt when I see that. It shouldn't be like a woman has also been given. No, she should work as much as she can, even work better than the men. Excuse me, I'm not against any man. Mr. Speaker, now I wish to talk a little too about Honorable Muntaka. Congratulations, my dear brother. You have worked hard. You deserve it. Your leadership roles have spelled it all out. I have been in this house with you for not less than 12 years, and I know how hard you have worked. I know how you have exhibited your skills. I remember and I recall when you had to lead us to ensure that at least while we were in opposition, we were still able to make sure that we had a speaker. Please continue fighting hard. Ensure that you do not think of sidelining. Don't sideline, but do the right thing. It's a very sensitive area. It's an area where if you are not careful, people will begin zooming in, and I think you know it better. Talking and saying whatever. Please ensure that you work hard, ensure that your leadership skills are put out more, and make sure that you do the needful. The police service have always been out there. Always. We are always and always having issues. I will be grateful if you can ensure that you dialogue with them, work as team members, and ensure that their name is uplifted.
Thank you.
I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I wish Honorable Muntaka all the best. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me give it to member for Tepa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak for his appointment. I know Honorable Muntaka is a very hard-working personality. His human relations to everybody is very good. We know how we relate to everybody, no matter your political party you belong to. And I wish him well. But Mr. Speaker, I want to draw Honorable Muntaka's attention to Act 927, which states, among others, that there shall be a National Disaster Management Fund. Why am I drawing his attention? Sometimes NADMO staffs go to disaster scenes and they are sometimes attacked. They are sometimes prevented from carrying out their normal duties. Why? Because in carrying out their response activities and doing need assessments, some people think after the need assessment there will be no relief items, and therefore they prevent them from doing so. But that is not the fault of the NADMO staff. It is as a result of financial problems, the late release of funds to NADMO. That is why those things happen. So I want to draw his attention that the Act talks about the source of funding to the National Disaster Fund, and that is through the 3% of District Assembly's Common Fund. So I'm appealing to him to look at it so that NADMO staff can carry on their preventive and reactive responsibilities without any hindrance. Mr. Speaker, the Mid-Country Immigration Training Institution in Ghana for Ghana Immigration Service is situated at Tepa in my constituency. The traditional authorities has released a big land to National Immigration Service. I want to appeal to the Honorable Minister to help Ghana Immigration Service to secure funds to fence and protect the land from encroachment. With this, I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Now, we turn to Zerula Ibrahim, Salaga West, Salaga South. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the motion considering the President's nominee, 4 for regional minister positions and 1 for the Interior Ministry. Mr. Speaker, the Northern Regional Minister designate, Honorable Adolf Ali, attended the vetting and acquitted himself creditably. Mr. Adolf demonstrated his deep knowledge about the region, the northern region, and the intricacies of balancing politics, religion, chieftaincy, and tribes and clans, and gave the committee the assurance that he was going to deploy his well-known and well-attested diplomatic skills to ensure that conflict in any part of the region will be eliminated. Mr. Speaker, for those of us who know Honorable Adolf at close range, we take his word, we know how serious-minded he is, and we know that he has the capability to deliver on his mandate. I can only wish him well. Mr. Speaker, on the Interior Minister designate, our leader, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, equally acquitted himself very well before the vetting committee. And in addition to giving us responses that addressed a lot of technical issues within the Interior Ministry, he also spiced his responses with a lot of anecdotes that really brought home governance to the barest minimum for the understanding of the ordinary Ghanaian. Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, for those of us who entered this house in the 8th Parliament, demonstrated his leadership skills. He never went through the chamber without stopping by us at the backbench to check on how we were doing. He actually had the habit of always entering the chamber through the backbench. He would spend not less than 3 to 4 minutes talking to us, pepping us up, and encouraging us. For those of us who had opportunity to serve with him on the Appointments Committee, Honorable Muntaka mentored us. He guided us. He told us the appropriateness of some questions and inappropriateness of other questions. I, for example, as a member of the then Appointments Committee, was told by Honorable Minister not to ask the then Minister-designate for Fisheries, Honorable Howard Kumsen, a question. He told me the same thing when Honorable Nitiwo appeared before the committee. And when I asked why, he reminded me that Honorable Howard Kumsen, I should remember that she was from my constituency. Honorable Nitiwo was my neighbor, and he could create confusion for me if I got on his wrong side. This is leadership. And today we can attest to how invaluable those advisors were. Mr. Speaker, for everyone who attended or watched Honorable Muntaka's vetting, there was one phrase that ran through, and I tried to count the number of times until I lost count. At every turn, he referred to the national interest. Everything for him is about the national interest. And I remember, as new entrants to this house, he reminded us to be guided by the national interest. And today it ran through almost all his responses. Indeed, the minority leader, Honorable Afenyomakin, had occasion to commend him for his sincerity and truthfulness. Honorable Muntaka showcased great knowledge in his ministry, a ministry that carries all the security agencies of this country, from the police to the fire service to the prison service to immigration.
Thank you.
He told us that he was going to ensure that these agencies were properly retooled. And I'm sure any MP who heard Honorable Muntaka will be relieved, because it gives assurance that he's going to take off the burden of these agencies running to MPs.
Thank you.
Seek support and resources for their agencies. Mr. Speaker, I congratulate all nominated ministers. I wish them all the best. And to Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, I said, Mungo de ma Allah.
Thank you very much. Now we turn to the leadership.
Mr. Speaker, on our part leadership, I will yield to Honorable Nyindam, except to add that under Order 63.1, the last comment of our sister should properly be interpreted for Hansard. If you look at Order 63.1, Mr. Speaker, so I yield to Honorable Nyindam for leadership.
Honorable Yindam.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank leadership for the opportunity given to me to speak on their behalf. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate my boss, Honorable Mutaka, and let me place on record that he's the longest serving chief whip in Ghana's parliament. And it's not for nothing that he was vetted this morning. The House has to suspend its rules and to approve him the same day. It shows that he's demonstrated leadership as a chief whip. And those of us who happen to also serve as chief whip, we are very proud of him. Like others have said, you are going to a ministry that almost all security agencies are under you. I know you have what it takes to shepherd and to provide Ghanaians security both day and night. We know you are capable, and that is what we expect from you. Mr. Speaker, concerning small arms in the hands of individuals, I want the minister to take this issue very seriously. Because if you look at the just ended elections and previous elections, you will realize that even when men in uniform were not wielding arms, most of our foot soldiers who went to attack places were carrying arms. And this is a very dangerous thing. You must look at it because it is a recipe for disaster. One other thing I was expecting maybe to hear from my Honorable Chief Whip has to do with members of Parliament. It is true that we have police. Every member of Parliament is entitled to police now. But unfortunately, in the night, it's a different thing altogether. So I want Honorable Minister to take a look at that issue because the attacks first goes to members' houses. And I don't want to remind this House about the sad issues that happened to a colleague of ours here, where in his home, unfortunately, he lost his life. So I want to encourage him to look at it very well and try to see how best he can support security in that regard. Mr. Speaker, let me also use the opportunity to congratulate the regional ministers, the OT regional minister, the Northern regional minister, the Eastern regional minister, and then the Volta regional minister. I also want to urge the Northern regional minister especially, just like my colleague said, the witchcraft accusations. It is one of the serious issues in the northern part of Ghana, especially northern region, where unfortunately people have been moved away from their traditional homes. Families have been brutalized because one is suspected to be a witch or a wizard. These situations need much attention. I also want to urge the OT regional minister to take a critical look about the conflict in Nkwanta North, Nkwanta itself, that is Nkwanta South. It is a very, very, very devastating issue, and I want to urge him not to sit down. He should look at that conflict very well, try as much as possible to bring peace to Nkwanta so that the people in Nkwanta and its environs, including the OT region itself, can enjoy some kind of peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to congratulate the nominees. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much, Honorable Yindam. Now the majority leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to add my voice to the motion to approve the nominees for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, I will start with my boss, Honorable Muntaka. In fact, I have worked with him and I have never regretted. because when I came in first to this chamber, he called and said, sit in the chamber at least 2 hours and learn. The chamber itself is a university of its own. If you can sit for just 2 hours in this chamber, you will learn a lot, because from archaeology to zoology passes through this chamber. And I took his advice and make sure every day I spend 2 hours in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, I spend more than 2 hours at least. Mr. Speaker, he has been sent to the Ministry of Interior. There is something that is missing, and I don't know how we will correct it. We have villages that don't have access to communication. They don't have network. So they apply, even if they require them to come to training or to come to the camp, they don't even get access to the information. And such villages are there, especially when you get to Ada, there is no network. A lot of the villages, my island communities, so a lot of them love to be in this security, but because there is no network, they are cut off. Minister, let's find a way so that everybody in Ghana will enjoy our security services. Mr. Speaker, one thing that baffles me a lot is whenever they are recruiting the people, there are general duties. Some of them are just going to arrest thieves. And they say they should bring masks. If you are going to arrest thief, what does the arresting of thief got to do with mass?
You do calculations.
Because when you see the thief, you are not going to work any mathematics there before you arrest the thief. So, Mr. Speaker, those who are strong to arrest the thieves, because when you go to the bungalows and they hear that there are robbers there, they will all hide in their rooms. When the robbers are gone, before they will come out with their dogs and say, where are the thieves? Where are the robbers? By that time, they've gone. Let us recruit those who can arrest them and stop disturbing them with mass so that they can do the work for us. Mr. Speaker, some of the things are rare, but we don't want to accept it. Mr. Speaker, the rest of the ministers, they are capable. So this House together, we should all approve them so that they can go and serve the nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the contributions, the question is all those in favor of the motion listed in today's order paper as motion 10, as well as motion listed 3 in the addendum paper. All those in favor say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, it's obvious the ayes have it. The motion is hereby adopted. And that this Honourable House has approved His Excellency the President's nomination of Mr. Ali Adolf G. John as Minister Designate for the Northern Region, Mr. John Kojo Japon as Minister Designate for OT Region, Mr. James Gunu as Minister Designate for Volta Region, Ms. Rita Akosia Awate as Minister Designate for Eastern Region, and Honorable Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka as Minister Designate for Ministry of Interior. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, let me extend our congratulatory message to all the ministers designate, to the regions as well as our own, Honorable Mubarak Muntaka. Honorable, we wish you well. Leadership. Yes, Honorable Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to congratulate the approved ministers, and on their behalf, thank the committee and the entire House for approving them unanimously. Mr. Speaker, I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the Appointment Committee. Leadership, any indication? Leader of the House, if you will indulge me, today I understand is World Education. Is it World Education Day? So if you indulge me, we can take that statement. You have so many statements, but you can take that one alone. It's a statement that commemorates the day. So if you permit me, Anyway, I mean, well, honorable members, I think the pressure of the House is to adjourn the House. Monday, Tuesday. Honorable members, so we will adjourn the House to Tuesday, 12 noon. Tuesday, 12 noon. Honorable members, once again, let him thank you for your cooperation in spite of the hitches. The House stands adjourned.
Welcome back to the studios. And so that's just how Parliament wraps up and also approves all of the nominees that faced the vetting committee between yesterday and that very special one that happened today about the Ministry of Interior. And Alhaji Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak heads to the Interior Ministry. Rita Akosia Awate, Eastern Regional Minister, as well James Gunu for Volta Region. Mr. John Kwejo Japon is for the Oti region, and Ali Adolf John for the Northern region. So basically, all of the nominees that the President so wishes to work with have been unanimously approved by Parliament, and sitting also adjourned to Tuesday, 12 noon. Thank you for watching. There's so much more on the Joy News channel. Do not go away.